Now moving on to open up, the drill that we do on Friday mornings, simple serve, push long to middle or around the forehand, and we practice our open up. And anyone tell me some of the most important things that we do for open up? What do you need to do first?
Step back.
Give yourself space, that's first. What else?
Drop the bat.
Drop your bat and what else?
Legs.
Drop your bat on your legs. Anything else? Do you just drop your bat on your legs?
Don't turn the shoulders.
Turn back, right? You don't want to just drop, you want to turn down. That is so important that if you don't turn, you have nothing to release. If you just go down now, it doesn't really mean so much. You do want to turn to prepare the energy of your swing that's then going to be transferred to the ball. That can vary depending on the ball. And that's the other part that we haven't trained that much, which is understanding the ball, understanding the spin. If the ball is super heavy, your weight wants to go slightly higher rather than forward, so you get it over the net. If the ball is not so heavy or a little bit above the net, you can still brush, but a bit more forward. And that's where sometimes we make the mistakes and misjudging the spin. So sometimes we go forward and the ball is heavy backspin and you hit the net. So then what happens, you think you've done something wrong with your technique. And so you correct your technique and then you miss again. What I will ask you to do is always think of the outcome of your shot. So if it went very long, have a look at your mechanic first and then try to understand the spin. Oh, that was no spin and I thought it was heavy, so that's why it went long. So always try to pay attention to both sides. One is your technique and second is the ball. Try to understand what the ball is doing. That's super important. So let's do a demonstration here. David, can I do a couple here with you?
Bruno,
Yes.
there's one more thing we've got to do.
Yeah.
Not do. Don't grip the bat too hard.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And that is another of the very important things. You know, there's so many elements to the shot. But yeah, if you try too hard to lift the ball, it'll be hard to lift the ball. If you try hard, you know.
First week we back of your shoulder and the second week we back.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta flow. You gotta flow. Now there's three parts of the preparation or the swing. The major one is relax, explosive to connect, and then relax again. You don't want to be tense, and then relax. That doesn't work. You want to relax on the way down, accelerate just before contact, and then you relax again. When we talk about acceleration, we don't talk about tension. We also, when we think of acceleration, what comes to your mind? Fast hitting? Yes, right? It doesn't mean that you have to hit the ball fast. Acceleration is to add more spin, more depth, more height, less height, or power as well, right? But it doesn't only mean that when I tell you to accelerate, it's to hit faster. It could be more spin as well, all right? So we'll demonstrate a couple of what I'm saying here. So you just push to my middle, David. So here, I'll accelerate a lot, but did the ball go fast? That was my swing faster? Was it?
Initially.
So look at the point of contact, look at the swing. Is the swing fast? Super fast swing, super good acceleration, but the ball is not going fast. And why is that? I'm focusing on a thin brush and my body weight is going upwards. Now if I change my body weight to slightly more forward, did that go fast? Could you see the difference between the two? The reality is, guys, that yes, the ball will somewhat determine what type of shot you can do, but not limited to what you see on the ball. So if it pushes really heavy, it doesn't mean that I have to lift up. If it pushes really heavy, it doesn't mean that I have to do just fine. If it goes really heavy, I can still go hard. Still, I just need to know that the push was heavy in order to add the required energy to overcome the backspin, right? Not necessarily because it's heavy backspin you need to hit slow. No, not necessarily. Now, it is a safer ball. It is a safer shot to do, yes. Because you're going to give yourself a bit more of a leeway above the net, a bit of clearance, right? But you don't have to hit slow. You can basically choose whatever you want for as long as you get ready for the shot that you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I would recommend that if it's heavy, you go slower, just so you don't make so many mistakes. So, if it's heavy, you go slower. If it's heavy backspin, you go slow. And if it's not heavy, like a bit of nose spin, you can go a little bit more forward. That's totally up to you. You can choose.
Do you give yourself the same space?
Yes, I always give myself the same space, and then I adjust. So if it pushes slightly shorter than I expected, so I always give myself the space, and it's shorter, I need to come into the shot. If I don't, I'm going to have to wait too long, probably hit the ball on the floor, and then it doesn't work. So you need to judge your distance as well. Like I said, there's so many things that we need to work on. But first and most importantly are mechanics. So we do want to give each other nice, clean shots to develop the mechanics. And that's something that we discussed yesterday about whether it is so beneficial to give you so many nice, clean shots, because then in a match, no one is so kind to give you nice, clean pushes, right? But everything has its period, its stages in development. At the beginning, you do want to make sure that your mechanics are correct, so you can then replicate it under pressure. If you don't have good mechanics when the ball is clean, do not expect to have good mechanics when you're put under pressure, right? So first we go through stages, and then we can put a bit more pressure onto the open up and more judging, less time to execute the shots and so on. But at first, let's just be kind to each other.